So last time we were together, a very, very simple webinar, introducing myself, introducing something of my background, some of the things that I'm wanting to introduce to you. And today we're going to be talking about computers. And today I'm going to be seeking to explore the issue about how for postgraduate, undergraduate students, whether they be postgraduate students, or even faculty members, about whether their computers are toys or whether they are their most powerful tool. And so I hope you enjoy this webinar. So let's talk about computers. Let's talk about computers and let's talk about the internet, about whether they are toys or tools. Something which I might have mentioned yesterday, but I didn't, was the fact that most of the comments that I'm going to be making about computers, most of the comments that I'm going to be making about software are from a Mac user. I haven't used PC for almost 10 years now, and so when at the beginning of a webinar on the issue of computers, this is a very, very important detail that you need to all be aware about. Having said that, although I am going to be demonstrating a number of functions of the Mac OS and of software that is installed on a Mac computer, I'm going to be emphasizing general principles that are not specific to either Mac or to PC. They are general principles about how you organize your data and about the generic programs which can be used. So I will be demonstrating the use of specific programs, but the general principles hold true for a range of programs that work on both a Mac and a PC environment. I will be making mention, occasionally will be making mention to some PC equivalents, although again, this is the big caveat, I haven't had a lot of experience with this. So let's just think about what it means to view your computer and for your attitude about the internet being one as primarily a tool and not a toy. If your computers are tools, then you will consider investing. You may want to invest, you have to consider investing in both hardware and software, but let's talk about hardware for the minute. And so one of the things you may discover with your computer, that if you start to do more high-end processing, you may need to upgrade your RAM. Consider upgrading your RAM. You also might want to consider that after a few months into your program you find that your computer is not handling all the programs that are open and all the work that you are doing, that you might need to get a computer with a faster CPU. So sometimes you can improve the specs for your existing computer. Other times you are going to have to consider upgrading. The other thing that I will be making mention of as we go on is the importance of having a scanner, and I will be making some suggestions about how scanners can increase our productivity. So having made those comments about software, let's just make a few comments about hardware. Let's make some comments about software. There are a number of, you're going to see the symbol wait a few times, and there are a number of webinars where I'll be mentioning the functions of a wonderful program called Foxtrot Professional Search. This is an indexing software which will index every word and every document on specified folders in your hard drive, and the functions are amazing. I'm going to be talking about the importance of using Adobe Acrobat Pro, please consider installing that on your computer. This presentation, this course has been outlined in Xmind, and I will be reminding you of some of the reasons why I'm enthusiastically commending this program to a number of people. We'll be talking about getting good versions of Word installed, and last but certainly not least, a wonderful program called EndNote, which I use all these programs together, and it has changed my life in terms of how I manage my data and how I cite in the papers that I write. So the other thing you might want to do if you are going to consider your computer to be a tool is you're going to consider that you might need to learn how to clean it up. If you're working on PC, you might want to consider defragging your program and cleaning out the trash if you are a Mac user. For both of those things, it's very, very important, I think, for every academic, whether they be a student or an academic, to have someone either in their department or nearby who can function as their go-to tech guy, who can very quickly, easily, and often very affordably fix your IT problems. These types of specialists are a real gift. Sometimes when we try and do things ourselves, we take longer than it should, and we don't do a particularly good job. So I love to make my problems someone else's. The other thing that, and with which I will conclude, there are dozens and dozens of academics that I know, both students as well as career academics, that have lost valuable information because their hard drive has crashed. They've got a virus, they haven't partitioned their hard drive, they haven't done any backups. And so if you consider your computer to be a tool, not a toy, you should really consider having at least, or preferably both, backup options. One is to get a physical backup drive, and I would suggest having two, and to back that up regularly, at least once a week, but also to explore the cost of a range of cloud-based backups, and the best of these, in my opinion, is Google Drive, which will give you 10 gigs for free. So thanks for listening. We've talked about a few things today, and let's just listen to a quick summary right now. Thanks very much. So let's just summarize about some of the points that I've just made now. The comments that I've made about computers are true no matter whether you are a Mac user or a PC. There are some people who use their computers primarily as toys and not tools. So regardless of whether you use PC or Mac, you may find that after you've got into your undergraduate, your postgraduate, or your early career years as an academic, you are going to find that you are going to need to invest. You may need to invest in hardware, you may need to buy more RAM or a faster CPU. That may mean that you can add these things to an existing computer, but you just may need to buy another one. We will be making a number of comments about software which has, in my experience, completely revolutionized my life and my work. And I've mentioned these some of the software, and we will be talking about these as we go through the webinar series. Consider spending the time to clean up, defrag, get rid of trash. Consider that it may be wise for you to spend a bit of money to hire an IT specialist who can get things done, and please have a backup strategy organized. Thanks so much.